Hi everyone, welcome back to Trust the Effing Podcast. We have a special surprise for you today. Jen and I are together in real life.
Woo! Woo!
We are here, we could even touch each other. We are excited about this, that we're not in two different countries. So we're very excited to be here. We've been at my cottage in Canada, enjoying a wonderful weekend together. We've been having some fun chats about spiritual awakening and podcast topics. And we started going into law of attraction. And I don't know how many people out there know about law of attraction or have learned a bit about it or practice it in your own lives. We'd love to hear from you. But we thought today we would chat about that. So Jen, maybe we should talk about what law of attraction is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So law of attraction is essentially the principle that what you think about, what you consume your daily thoughts with, is what you attract into your life. You attract who you are. It's likening your vibration, your energy, thoughts, and beliefs, aligning them all to bring in what you truly want in your life. You can want something, you can dream about something, but unless your energy aligns with the energy of what you want, you're not going to experience it in your life. Does that make sense, Rebecca? Is that your opinion of it or your belief around it?
Yeah. Is it a law of physics?
Physics talks about energy and vibrations and frequency. And science is even proving now, physics is even proving the laws of attraction is a real thing now.
Yeah. I remember when I first was learning about it, what we focus on is what we will attract. If you're focusing on negative thoughts, you're probably going to focus on negative things occurring in your life. Mm-hmm. What are your first early experiences with law of attraction? I didn't grow up knowing about law of attraction or that I could call in what I'm wanting desiring.
This was such a revolutionary thing that blew the top off my brain.
Yeah,
when I first discovered it. I think I mentioned it on a previous podcast, maybe even the first one, where when I was awakening, there was another coworker awakening as well. He kind of exposed me to some of these thoughts, but he literally handed me Louise Hay's CD. Louise Hay, she's the grandmother of metaphysics. She passed some years ago. But one of her CDs, 101 Power Thoughts, I would play over and over every day. I drove it. I would listen and keep hitting repeat. It was affirmations to help generate more positive thoughts and experiences in life. And it was just so beautiful. When I listened to this CD, I literally felt like I was wrapping a warm blanket around me and drinking a hot cup of cocoa and just wrapped in love and beauty. And it brought so many more positive experiences into my life, so much more love I felt. But one of the things I would get hung up on with listening to these affirmations was that some of them wouldn't feel true. As much as I would want to feel unlimited prosperity or incredible abundance in my life, I would get to some of those affirmations and it would make me feel a little like, ha, yeah, right, sort of an attitude of resistance. So eventually that CD led me later on to an Abraham Hicks CD.
Yes.
And you know Abraham Hicks.
That was one of my first introductions to law of attraction, I think. Maybe Louise Hay as well, because I feel like I read a book, or maybe I was watching a video about affirmations. I found on YouTube, good old YouTube University, teaching me about Abraham Hicks. How do we explain who Abraham Hicks is? It's a woman that channels
an entity or an ascended master of some sort.
That's how she explains it. She gives a lot of guidelines and examples, and she's channeling, I think she's in front of a group of people usually, channeling messages for them, but I mean, it speaks for everyone, I think. And for me, the biggest thing that I picked up, you're saying that I attract what I focus on. I had doubts and resistance to that. How is that possible? And then she would say things like, it depends on your level of resistance. She talked a lot about the vortex, which confused me at first. Everything we want is kind of in this bubble around me, this vortex around me, but I can't obtain all of it until I match the frequency of the experience or the thing that I want.
Right.
So she gave examples of how you can play with it. She has a lot of videos, so you can check them out and see which one resonates for you. There was one that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, she would say, talk about a certain subject or what you're wanting for like 16 seconds, or there was a certain time limit.
Right. Yeah, it was like, it's 16 or 17 seconds. That's all it takes to bring you closer to your desire that's in the vortex, I think, correct?
Like it's that quickly. Yeah. So I practiced with like a red bird. Was exactly what I was talking about. So I envisioned this red bird, and I kept talking about this red bird, and oh my God, I can't believe how red it is, and the color of red, and look at its cute little beak on this red bird, and its song, and its singing, and we're going to probably see a red bird now, by the way,
we will.
in the next few days. But I was living in Costa Rica, and I hadn't seen like a red bird, like a cardinal or anything like that there. And it was probably only the next day. It might have even been the same day later, like maybe in the morning I was listening to that video and talking about the red bird. There was like a housekeeper that worked on, I lived in like apartment buildings, and she was outside hanging laundry, and she was motioning me like, come here, come here, come here. And she was so excited. And I came around the corner to see what she wanted to show me. Sure enough, there's this red bird sitting in a tree, this tiny little songbird, I guess. And it didn't move when we were near it. She's like, look, it's just staying there. Oh my God. She's grown up there. And she's like, I've never seen a bird like this before. And at first I was just like, that's so cool. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me,
that's your red bird.
this is the law of attraction. That's my red bird. And after that, I was like, whoa, I got to practice this more.
Yeah.
So I think it was maybe the same year, maybe the next year. I'd been practicing quite a bit, but a friend of mine, we were going on a road trip, and she's into this stuff too. And she said, let's play a law of attraction game. She's like, I did it a few days ago. And what you do is you name off like 3 things that are kind of random that you'd like to see, just so you can test it out and see if it's working. She had chosen a lady in a yellow polka dot bikini, and she saw that within a few days. And the second thing she had also seen, and she's like, but I didn't see the third one yet. And I said, well, what was it? And she said, it was a man in a yellow banana suit. And I looked, my jaw dropped, and she was like, what? And I said, check this out. I have a friend in Toronto who's a comedian, and this morning he posted a video of him doing a show in a yellow banana suit.
No way.
Here, I'll show it to you.
Oh my God.
I know. And we were like, what? So then, of course, we were like, okay, let's play again. Let's play again.
Yeah.
And we came up with more things. I mean, it's just like the red bird. I almost wouldn't have realized that was it.
Yeah.
Until it clicked, like, oh yeah, I did that. Sometimes the things show up, but if you're not paying attention, you might miss it. That was another practice, I guess, as a part of it was talk about it, call it in, focus on it, pay attention to what shows up, because it may show up in very different ways as the man in the banana suit did. Like, we were living in Costa Rica in a small beach town. There's not people walking around in banana suits there, right? I don't even know where you'd buy one or make one. So
maybe banana hammocks, but
hey-o, ding, 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 ding. So good. And now for a quick break so you can learn a little bit more about our business offerings.
Hey, it's Jennifer. And if you've been struggling to lose weight despite doing all the quote unquote right things, then this might be for you. Sometimes it's not just about diet and exercise. Often trauma and stuck emotions are what hold us back from releasing the unwanted weight. That's why I'm offering my special 90-minute one-on-one breakthrough session where we'll work together to release those deep emotional blocks so you can finally step into the body and the life you truly deserve. And right now, I'm offering it for a special price of just $111. So if you're ready to let go of what's been holding you back and start your transformation from the inside out, don't wait. Book your breakthrough session with me today. Send me an email at jennifer@jenniferfleischman.com or DM me on Instagram. I can't wait to guide you on this powerful journey to your best body.
Yes, have you had any experiences like that?
I have. So for the longest time, some years ago, I really wanted to buy, this is silly, I know this sounds really materialistic, but I really wanted a Cadillac Escalade. It was a vehicle that I just thought, oh, if I just drove that, I would feel so good. They're so beautiful. They're so classy. There's so much space, all the bells and whistles, the leather seats, the moonroof, you know. I just thought they were just gorgeous. Very classy looking car. And even though I always drove a decent car, I never owned something so beautiful. But at the time, I was driving a black Chevy Tahoe, and it was nice, but I kept seeing a Cadillac Escalade on a commercial, and it was just like, oh, I just would love that. It would be so nice. I want to have that. So I started practicing my law of attraction practices as far as envisioning it, believing I could have it, and feeling it. I would just put myself behind the seat of my Cadillac Escalade in my mind, feeling the leather of the steering wheel, feeling the leather seats, touching the button that would open the moonroof, looking at the wood grain finish inside, and imagine driving it down the road. And this practice started working for me because the signs that I got, I'd be driving down the road and I would start to see Cadillac Escalades everywhere where I had never noticed them previously.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is a sign. We were talking about signs and synchronicities before. This was the sign that I knew I was in the right path with my law of attraction practice. I'd keep doing that. And then I would go online and start looking at some of the Cadillac Escalades for sale. The first thing was the sticker shock. Oh my God, that is so much money. Like $100,000 for a new Cadillac Escalade. I'm like, but I didn't want to cause any resistance in myself. When we're trying to bring something into our life using law of attraction, you want to stay away from anything that's going to create resistance. Another problem was if I would talk to people about this car that I wanted, people would be like, are you crazy? That's way too much money. Why would you want some, stupid expensive car? So I'm like, I need to stop talking to people. I need to protect my energy around this because everybody's telling me I'm wild and crazy. This is way too expensive. I just kept believing without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to have an Escalade. This is going to happen for me. That is the kind of intensity you have to have. So I was protecting my energy, dreaming multiple times a day, envisioning this, feeling the excitement of it all, driving this thing in my mind. Before I knew it, I was seeing prices drop. Prices were literally dropping every time I would do a search. Now I'm seeing them in more of my budget range. Before I knew it, I was wheeling and dealing on one that was only a year old and only had 900 miles on it in another part of my state. And I had equity in my Tahoe to utilize. Yeah. Before I knew it, I was buying my first black Cadillac Escalade at a price that I could easily afford. And that was an affirmation I took right from Louise Hay. My desired vehicle at a price I can easily afford. That affirmation I repeated constantly until it became true for me. And I've since manifested 2 other Cadillacs using the same process. After I'd had that Cadillac for a few years, I started thinking I wanted a red one. I love the black, but now I really love the red. Suddenly, I love the red. So I'm thinking, okay, but I also didn't get so attached to it, right? I want a red one, but I'm happy with my black one.
Right.
I would love this red one, but I don't need it. That's another key. You can't have this feeling of desperation and clinginess to this thing that you want.
Right.
I was having lunch with a friend of mine one day. My friend says to me, what do you mean? You want a red one? I'm like, well, I haven't really invested myself too much in it, but I want a red Cadillac. He goes on his phone, looks up Cadillacs, goes to the Kelley Blue Book website. Boom, one shows up, even less money than my first one.
Oh my goodness.
So we immediately scheduled an appointment, and within a couple weeks, I went down and bought my red Cadillac. There it was. And a payment was even less than the one that I already had.
I mean, it's mind-blowing, right? Like, I know I've practiced it too and had things come to fruition. I'm so happy for you, by the way. That's so exciting. But also, there's the key, and you mentioned it a little bit, is the resistance. For example, why did I see the red bird so quickly? I have zero resistance to seeing a red bird. Mm-hmm. There's no part of me that doubts that that's possible. There's no part of me that believes I might not see one. And maybe this is something that Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks touches on, which is, there could be core beliefs, not in our conscious mind, certain things that we believe that are blocking us. So why can't I have $1 million right now? Trust me, I've been calling this in, so it's going to come in one of these days. It's out there in my vortex, right? There's $1 million sitting out there in my vortex. But I need to raise my vibration to reach that, to match that. I have to match that vibration. So, I mean, the red bird came quickly because I have zero resistance to it. Mm-hmm. Do I believe that I deserve $1 million? Well, I think I do. Inside, I spend the last lot of years going back through some of my core beliefs. Some of them were that I wasn't deserving, that I wasn't an important person, that I had low self-worth issues. So I've been working through those. I must be getting closer to the $1 million. I think there's certain things that block us. We have to work on eliminating the blocks, to simply put it, right?
Yes.
Am I saying this the way that makes sense?
Yes, you are completely. I think the part that gets us tripped up when we're trying to bring something into our life is understanding that some of these blocks go back to before we were even consciously aware of the thoughts that created the block. Between the ages of 0 to 7, they say we create most of our core beliefs between the ages of 0 and 7 years old.
Yeah.
We've already created a lot of the patterns that we are going to take forward into our life.
Right.
So to go back and undo some of these blocks takes a lot of digging, a lot of conscious hard work and effort. Yeah. So it's not always easy to bring these things into our life, these big, big dreams like the $1 million or the mansion on the hill or the career as a Grammy nominated singer. So we have to go back and really examine some of these core beliefs and dig deep to undo them so we become the match for that dream.
Yeah, because also think of it. For example, the $1 million, most of us have instilled in us that we have to work to earn $1 million. Mm-hmm. So I, have been working on this like, no, I don't have to work to make, sure, I could also work and make $1 million, but can I also believe that that could be gifted to me? What's the level of resistance I have towards that, right?
Yes.
Some of them are our core beliefs. Some of them are societal beliefs or what our families told us or what we've grown up with, thinking this is how you get money. This is the ways that you can receive money. I've always believed I could be a millionaire. But I think there's a lot of people that don't ever believe that. They're like, that can't ever happen to me. Just like people were saying to you, you're not going to get that car. How are you ever going to be able to afford that car with the job that you have right now? But you believed it.
I believed it. I knew one way or another I was going to own a Cadillac Escalade. It was what I truly desired. And I really wanted to use these practices to prove to myself that I could do it. I want to know how true law of attraction is. I want to prove that it works so that I can continue to use this great practice. Abraham Hicks, for instance, talks about being a fish and swimming upstream. And when we encounter that resistance, we say things like, I can't get $1 million. I would have to work 100 hours a week. Or I can't get $1 million. My family wasn't like that. How am I going to end up a millionaire? My family wasn't millionaires. Or that you have to sell your soul to earn the $1 million and become a crook, a criminal, a fraud. So when you have resistance like that, you're swimming upstream with beliefs like that. If you have beliefs like that, one of the things you can try is, like Abraham Hicks says, go more neutral. Oh. So what would be a more neutral example of that? We use the $1 million as a hypothetical.
Right.
You could use an affirmation, for instance.
Okay.
Such as, I believe I am capable of earning $1 million. Or,
I believe it's possible that someone could gift me $1 million. Maybe someone's going to give me some crazy inheritance that I don't know about.
Yeah. And if you're still encountering resistance to that, step it back even more. Right. What's even more neutral? $1 million would feel so good. What would you use $1 million for?
How would that make me feel, having that security, that level? Like, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Or one of the keys, I guess, is the feeling.
Yes, the feeling behind the desire.
Yes.
What would $1 million give you? It would give you opportunity.
Freedom.
Choices.
The ability to help other people and have good health, live a good life, be able to care for myself and my loved ones.
Yes. So you lean into those feelings, and then that brings you to the vibration you're looking for to become a better match to that $1 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I'm really excited now because I feel like I'm getting close.
Yes.
And I truly believe it.
Yeah.
It really is incredible. I want to challenge people, challenge our listeners to what is something that you want, and maybe start with the games I was starting with, like just talk about something simple or silly. For me, I think that was the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. I started to believe, oh, well, that's possible. So why wouldn't your car or $1 million, or for me, I've manifested homes. We're going to talk more about manifestation in our next one because we have some actual other process and exercises you can leave both used in order to manifest. But yeah, like I started to believe in it. So, and now I've also done a lot of rewiring within my own patterns and beliefs. Some of the core beliefs you were talking about that were developed when I was a child that were creating resistance, even though in my mind I believe this, but I'm running on these patterns just like a computer runs on its own programming. Until you reprogram it, you can't change what's happening. So I think we're getting closer. I think we're onto something, and I think everyone out there should try it. Start small.
Yes.
Start with, you want to see a bird or a flower or whatever.
Yeah.
Just call in silly stuff, right?
A cup of coffee.
Someone buying you a sandwich. Things you're not going to have resistance towards. And see how fast that shows up. Then maybe get curious like we did and go big or go home.
Call in something bigger. Lean into the feeling of what that item will bring you, of what that desire will bring you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear from our listeners to see what they're going to manifest a couple weeks here.
Oh, yeah. Let us know.
This will be part 1 of a 2-part series. On the next episode, we'll be talking more again, like Rebecca said, about practices, processes, and we're so excited to see what you guys come up with and share with us. Get involved, get onto the posts and share with us this coming week about what you're manifesting and how law of attraction has impacted you in your life.
Yeah. And let's maybe end this one with this. Let's play the game right now. And then on our next episode, we'll talk about it. So let's name 2 things. What can we think of here? I don't know why I'm picturing a popsicle right now. It's kind of cold here, but I'm going to have some kind of fruity tooty popsicle this week that is all natural, no sugar, one that I know is healthy. It's going to show up in some weird way because I haven't seen any around here. Like the kind I'm thinking of right now, I haven't seen in stores around here. Let's see what shows up with that.
I just thought of a sailboat. Yeah, I don't have any resistance to that. It seems kind of wild too because we're in fall. You're not seeing sailboats out there anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how this comes in.
See what kind of boat comes in and how it comes in. You might see a video of it. It might be in real life. Like it's just, we'll see.
Okay.
All right. We'll leave it with that. But you guys do it too.
Yeah.
And let us know because the more of us doing it raises the vibration.
Raises the vibration of the collective. That's what we want.
So doing it with more people can really help bring things in sooner.
It's really going to demonstrate your power.
Yeah. That's what it was for me. It was like, I can actually do this. I can create and call in these things without having to work really hard. I don't have to work 50, 60 hours a week and save. That's what I was taught in order to have things I wanted. Yes. And now I've been learning there really is this other way. Yeah. And things show up really, really easily. And it always blows my mind.
Yeah.
And you've been driving nice cars.
Yes, I've been driving beautiful cars. I love my Cadillacs.
Sure. And I still love my man and my banana suit.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's podcast. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. We love to hear from you, so please leave us a comment or a review on the platform you heard us on today. And be sure to hit that bell and subscribe so you get notified every time we upload a new episode. You can also send us an email at trusttheeffingpodcast@gmail.com. If you are looking for additional support in your awakening journey and a look at the bigger picture with Rebecca, you can find her on social media at Trust the Effing Process. If you are a woman looking for holistic health and weight loss support and you'd like a consultation with me, you can find me on social media at JenniferFleischman_health coach or email me jennifer@jenniferfleischman.com. And of course, all of this information will be linked in the show notes so you can check those out. Always know that you are exactly where you should be at any given moment in your life, and everything is unfolding as it should. So please remember to trust the effing podcast.